to the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast Show. I am your host, Mr. aka Jeffrey Mr. And right beside me is my talented, lovely, beautiful wife of 13 plus years and 2 kids, no animals.
This is Mr. aka Dana Mr. And together we are the
Misters. And we have a question for you today. I don't know if you can see. Or maybe you can hear as well. We're opposites. I don't know if y'all noticed that on the episode. Some people send us messages. You guys are opposites sometimes. I think we might be. You think we're opposites?
Yeah, we're pretty opposites.
We're opposites, maybe a little bit. But the question is, opposites attract, they say.
Yes.
Opposites attract. But will they keep you together?
Yes.
You think you keep together? Do opposites keep you together?
I think it can. I think
it can.
it can. Today we're going to be discussing different people and different things that are completely opposite, but they work well together.
Yeah, it's true. And some opposites are horrible together. Horrible together. And so you may be listening right now. You're saying, hey, this person next to me that is asleep while we're supposed to be listening to this podcast is my opposite. Or the person that you're married to or you're dating right now, you're opposite. You're like, how did we get together? You've seen some crazy opposites throughout time and whatnot too. And like, I am more of an outgoing person. I think you're outgoing too as well. But your natural thing is, what you say?
I'm a natural introvert. Yeah.
Introvert people are the craziest people on earth.
Yes. But before we get into the show, you want to do the theme song?
Oh, yes, we must. And if you're first time episode, listen to this. Welcome to the #1 rated podcast, relationship marriage podcast in the world. I said what I said. We have the greatest theme song in the world. It goes a little something like this. Come on.
Laugh, learn, love.
What you say?
Laugh, learn, love.
What you say?
Laugh, learn, love.
It's the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast Show.
Laugh, learn, love.
We're talking about opposites.
Laugh, learn, love.
Do they keep you together?
Laugh, learn, love.
On the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast Show. Yeah.
Let's start the show.
Yeah. Oh, listen, you're doing something for your marriage. I want to encourage you listening, watching YouTube, on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen on. You're doing something for your marriage. Salute to you, or you're doing something you're dating, you're single, you building yourself up.
Yes, kudos.
Give them a round of applause for that. Kudos to you. I wish we were doing something like this before. We didn't have this. We didn't have an outlet like this when we were doing this. But I think we did all right with some things, but some opposites that we had. Yes. So getting into it.
Yes.
We're getting into it.
So I guess the first question is, why did the Lord make us so different?
Please tell us. Please tell us. I brought up some things. One thing that were opposite of. This is one opposite thing that I thought about as I had a need. I had a need sometimes in life. And I don't know if you've been this before. And if you're watching or you listen, I'll explain. Boom. This toilet paper. She will get the last scrape of toilet paper off of the roll and just walk off with no regard for anybody else who has an emergency in life. It's going on. So I'm coming through. I'm running.
You gotta make sure you check.
We got what? You hear that? Did you hear the see, that's what I don't understand. See, I didn't notice. When I went to the jewelry store, I got the ring. I was like, oh, she'll love me forever. She'll replace the toilet tissue roll. She will replace this because she loves me. Logically, I was thinking she would love me for that. But countless times, I was thinking maybe just one time she had to go to work or something. You know how you just wrapping up?
I can't remember the last time I got. You know what?
Tell me the last time you got
the last time when I was in San Diego this past week.
Uh-huh.
I was like, because I signed up for the environmental program, so that means that they don't come do your room, and I just make sure I had enough face time and stuff like that.
Y'all get enough money.
But anyway, it was like I was like, man, ain't no more toilet.
Wow, you see that? So, like, who is the?
But they had left a roll under the cabinet, but it was.
Wow.
But I was like, man, this is the first time I ever had to replace.
Wow, exactly. You see that? And this is exactly the point that I'm trying
to. I didn't do that. The kids must have done that.
No, this was in our bedroom. This is our bathroom. This is exactly the same here. So this is one example of how you think love means that I'm the opposite of you and go to the extra end. And so what I do is, if I can get the last thing and have a little bit left, I will put another piece up there.
And I appreciate that, Frank. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's the reason why. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, as G.I. Joe always says, knowing is half the battle. Get your tail up and change that road. So that's one example for us. So ask your spouse the same thing, or ask your mate who you're dating right now is, what are some opposites that we have in the system? That's one thing. We're gonna dig more into this side too. Yes. That's one opposite right there. So if you're like Miss Mister right here, is leaving this, look at this. This is, somebody come look at this. And this is, if you're listening right now, podcast, there is a shred of this. And this is my question. Did you just wipe your tail with this last little bit? You needed exactly this last thread. Did you flip this thing 18 times to get that last? You know, you flip
I use a lot of
You flipped it. What did you do at the end of it? Do you flip yours a few more times? Like, you know what? I'm not finna get up and get another one.
No,
this won't have to work. The leftover.
No, well, the thing about it is I roll and I roll and I roll. I try to make sure I have enough tissue.
So you roll your hand. Let me see how you do it. Do you roll your hand? I've never lived with man 30 plus years.
So this is a little segment we like to call Whose Side You're On.
And let me give you a little brief projection. If you just listened for the first time, where have you been? First of all, shame on you, but go back and listen to all the other episodes. We got a lot of great things to talk about. But on this segment right here, we talk about whose side you're on, where you give us a take where we disagree about something, and you give us whose side you're on, and we go off your votes. So please, when you read it on the social media site on Mr.Mrs. Mr. Mr.Mrs.Mister on Instagram, or the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Facebook page on Facebook, let us know whose side you're on. So Mrs. Mr. or Mr. Mr. All right, we got a question right there, and so the whose side you're on question of the week. Take it away, Miss Mister.
Okay, what is the best opposite combination, whether food or couple, of all time, and why?
So it can be anything. Anything.
It could be food,
the greatest,
it could be couple.
So the question for the week is, what is the greatest opposite combination of all time?
What is the best opposite combination?
The best, greatest of all time, the GOAT of opposites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What you gonna say? Go ahead.
The greatest equal, it's easy for me. The greatest opposite of all time, and I think people who listen to this, so please vote, go now when you listen to this and vote for this, is Martin and Gina off the Martin Show. Let that simmer into you. And if you have never watched the Martin Show, shame on you. It was the greatest sitcom of all time. The greatest sitcom of all time. Martin and Gina were opposites. Martin was an outgoing, very loud type person right there, which I'm similar, I can relate to. And Gina was more, she was loud too. Especially when she got her head stuck in the headboard. I have no idea how she got. What were they doing? Now, tell us what they were doing to get like that. The head stuck in the headboard. But they made it work, and it made something that I looked for before we were there. It's like, you know what? I want to be married in a sense like that, to have something that's like, I know it's an imaginary couple. I know it may have ended on some things. I don't know. But I thought that is what I want to have in a relationship. Somebody that's
kind of like us.
It's kind of like us. That's what I said. So I think subconsciously when I was looking at you, it was like,
yeah, because we're completely opposite. Jeff is more so the comedian, the extrovert.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Loves to have fun. I'm more like Gina. You know, I love to have fun, but I know when it's time to get down to business. It's time to get down to business.
Okay.
You know, I'm more reserved. You know, so.
So Martin and Gina is my vote. I think that the greatest couple of all, well, I won't say the greatest couple of all time, but I'm saying they had a great chemistry. They were opposites, and they were able to make it work. He had to throw her out a couple times, but she got back on him a couple times. And so, when she came down to fight Miss Trinidad, oh man, that's one of the things she had to, you know.
Well, if I had to pick a couple, besides us, of course.
Yeah, we got us. The Lord is with us. He has been shining his light.
But I think another couple that's probably the opposite. I think Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Beyonce, you part of the Beehive?
I love Beyonce. I do. I don't know if I'm a part of the Beehive, but I do love Beyonce. One thing, I love her creativity and like the way that the drive that she has to about, you know, creating like generational wealth and all of that. But I would say Beyonce and Jay-Z. I think growing up, like I would have never thought, you know, because you know Beyonce was born in 1980, so we all about the same age. So, but I would have never thought like she would have been, you know, with somebody with Jay-Z. Like, you know, well, no, what I'm saying is, so don't say wow. So, but what I'm saying is, but what I'm saying is, it's like you have somebody like Beyonce who, you know, she's you know, she's Beyonce. You know, she comes off as being more reserved and whatnot, and you know, more of an introvert until she's on stage performing.
She's Sasha Fierce though.
Yeah, and then you have Jay-Z. It just seemed like they just come from two different backgrounds, but it works for them. Like they are like building this empire together. That. I just, you know, I would have never put them together initially. But now that I see them together, I was like, man, it works, you know.
They ought to come on the show. Y'all, the Beehive, send a message of private to Beyonce. We will meet you wherever. We will show up wherever.
Jeff got some points, yeah.
We will show up wherever. Jane, listen, I have all the albums. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
ROC, yeah. Number one, click, yeah. We will meet you wherever. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's so funny because Jeff loves Jay-Z and I love Beyonce. So, and like even when we did the concert and stuff together last year.
Tell them about the time they had the little thing, right? So she had the Beyonce wig, right? She got a Beyonce wig that she went to one of her sorors. They had like a Beyonce thing when the Coachella Netflix special came out, right? So,
Homecoming.
Yeah. And so my thing was like, oh, that's good. Enjoy yourself. Took pictures out there with the little yellow dress, the one where she was, you know, tearing stuff up. I've got the video right there. Of course, Beehive, please forgive me. I don't know what that. So none of that. So my thing was like, hey, the opposite of me saying, hey, you know, you can.
Anyway,
you can wear the.
So anyway, let's stay on track here. Okay?
This is on track.
So again, I think those are two. I think there's two prime examples, and it's so funny that we both said it because I think they both somewhat represent us.
Subconsciously, did you look for that? Well, I guess Jay-Z when we were like they may have been together, but it wasn't prominent like that. Did we subconsciously look for opposites in who we're dating? And it's a question for all of us too, right? So that's something too. I guess we can wrap up this segment too, but just in terms of whose side do you think? Oh, this is a good debate point of this. Which is the better opposite couple? Mm-hmm. I say, Mr. Mister says Martin and Gina. Mrs. Mister says Beyonce and Jay-Z. Which one is the greatest opposite couple out of the two? Who would you pick? A, Martin and Gina. B, Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah, I think that's good.
That's a good. That's gonna come.
Now let's do a food one really quickly. What do you think? Food. Opposites.
Greatest food. You already got yours. You got your food. Okay, go ahead and get yours.
I think the greatest food combination is well, I have two. Okay, so I would say either cauliflower and buffalo sauce. Like, it's so good to me. Like, for those who love, you know, like cauliflower, you may not necessarily care for cauliflower, but if you put some buffalo sauce in there, even like some little barbecue sauce, oh my God, it's so good. Like, it's just something about the two, because here you have cauliflower that's a vegetable, and then you have this sauce that you usually put on chicken or something like that. But when you put it on there, it's just something about it. And then also, I think a lot of people would say probably chicken and waffles. I think that's become more so a southern cuisine. But I mean, you have like a lunch or dinner food.
New York, they tear it up.
Yeah, well, a lunch or dinner food, and then you have a breakfast food, and you put it together. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I would say. Those two, yeah. Good
combination. For me, I would have to go with an obvious choice: hamburger, helper, stroganoff, and ketchup together.
Oh my God!
Oh my goodness!
I have a phobia of ketchup, so yes.
Listen. I just get the ketchup packs from Chick-fil-A or something and pour it in there.
That's so nice. That's
it's delicious.
Oh my
hamburger,
goodness,
helper, stroganoff. I don't care if a billionaire. That's something that would still be delicious to me. And so, like, I use like the little ground crumbles. Not eat me, whatever. But I put that in. Oh, it's so delicious.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna let them have that. That's all.
You asked me the question.
Okay. So whose side you on? Good catch your vote. That's best.
So yeah, that's our laugh for every episode too. Listen, we like to laugh, learn, and love. That's our laugh portion right there. Please contribute to your answers. Sell that debate for us. Now move on to the learn side.
Yes, but I do have a question before we go to this part of the learn side. Would you rather your mate be just like you, or would you prefer that mate to be opposite, and why?
That's a good question too. I think I'd rather for my mate to be just like me. Because obviously, I mean,
well, you failed that.
I dropped the ball there. And so I don't know. I was thinking about this as I was preparing for episode 2, and just kind of getting notes about like, did I look for the opposite when we were dating? So think about this too. I think this is for us too. When you were dating, right? Before we started dating, and we were friends for like 4 years before that. I think she was already trying to holler at me, but that's not the point of what this episode is about. We can get into another episode. But subconsciously, you can think about this too, and please let us know. I really want to hear from other couples, people together too, and just see are we the norm or somebody else the norm. Doesn't. But did you subconsciously look for the opposite in, like the opposite? You said you were introvert. Did you subconsciously were you attracted to an extroverted person, and me vice versa? Was I attracted to an introverted person? What do you think? What do you think?
I don't know. I thought I was just naturally seeking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of like one of those things that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe it was like one of those things just was natural for me to be like, okay, let me just go get a list of all the extrovert guys. You know what I'm saying?
You were down. I was on the list.
No,
what
so
number?
I don't think that was it. I believe at the time I was just looking for somebody that was, funny, charismatic, that loved to have fun, that I felt like that would be able to bring me more out of my shell.
So you were then.
So I guess
you were, yes.
I guess not thinking about it.
Yeah, subconsciously I think, maybe so. Maybe yes. I'm thinking about for me, maybe I'd like the fact of pulling somebody out of their shell from what it is. So subconsciously, maybe we do, when they say opposites attract, maybe there's some truth to that. Why? Because I was going to read an article too about how they say like somebody that loves to talk will be attracted to somebody that doesn't like to talk.
Because that person would not talk.
Yeah, they'd be a good listener.
They'd be a good listener.
Oh man, we had the greatest time ever last night at the restaurant.
Right.
It's not a sponsor. But
so you'd be like, yeah.
So we had the greatest time ever at this place. And so that person, they listened to, we had the greatest conversation.
Everything.
Greatest conversation. Now the person that's quiet can be like, oh, we had the greatest time ever. I was worried about what to talk about. I didn't really have to say anything. But to nod my head and just smile and just give a wink that time. And that can be the greatest time for them because they're like, I didn't feel the pressure of getting outside of myself.
And I think the only thing about it, what happens is that person, as you become more comfortable around that person, then it could be a little bit more challenging because once you start getting more comfortable, especially for us after 13 years, 13, 14 years, then you realize like you find your voice and like now you really want to start talking more with that person. Just
like, what the heck you do?
Right.
What is this lady doing? That's not the role. The reason we got together is because you were doing this, and the reason why I picked you over somebody else, or you accepted me in this point there, is because of those things. And that's something that's real deep too, right? Think about like, I know they say love is unconditional, but it's really the reason why that worked in the beginning is because those things work. What happens when people evolve and change? Like we got married at a young age. We were 23, 22 years old. Then folks like, I don't even trust my underwear at the time. So we decided to make a lifelong commitment to each other at that point. And so like that, you were naturally evolving the different things.
You're going to grow, and you're going to grow into your own person, especially from a 20-something.
Oh, most definitely. Definitely. So so you know what I'm saying? And so how do you adjust to those changes when those opposites that attracted you together? You look for somebody more extroverted to pull you out. I'm looking for somebody that can listen to and laugh at the jokes.
And now I want that person to listen to me. And now
they're like, what the heck? That's not what we signed up for. You're supposed to be the listener. I'm supposed to crack the jokes. You're supposed to laugh. Now, you know what I'm saying? And so once those roles get reversed, I think that's how couples get into this.
And now I want to crack a joke and I want him to laugh.
I'm like, sometimes be whack. Sometimes
I'm funny. I am.
you are funny.
I'm funny.
But
that's what I'm saying.
So no. I'm just meant just for the sake of play. But I think you are funny. But I think that you are funny. But you made me think. But I think that is where couples. Sometimes they say like there's an itch or something after that. Like many times when you get to that voice and there's something like an unexpected thing of saying this person will always laugh at my jokes, and that's what gets my. And so that person may change. They be more serious, or they want to crack jokes, or they're busy doing something else. And so can I still love you through those things? So this gets back to what the topic I think is so deep, and I wish we could get together, have some couples kind of sit down and talk about this. Some more different couples there, but just in terms of, just the fact of opposites attract like they did for us, but will they keep us and you? Will they keep you together.
Yeah.
And
And I think it also applies to like your friendships as well. Because I just think about my friendships, like it's 4 of us that's been really close friends, and so you know, one is very introvert. Like, but for example, like Eric and I, Eric and I, you know, we've been friends, roommates, all of that stuff. But she's naturally the extrovert. I'm more naturally the introvert, and so you know, so I think even when it comes down to your friendships, it could be our opposite there as well. But it works for us, you know what I'm saying? It works for us, and so you know, because we have like Courtney, who's you know more quiet. Then you know me, I'm just like that balance, and then Chrissy and Erica, who's definitely more extrovert. So I think even when it comes down to like your friendships as well, and it's so funny because we talked about this. You know, we talk about this often about like how even in your friendships it could be opposites there, because you just you know. Because I think if you really, really, really think about it, like I think it's good to have people with the same common goals as you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And have the shared like purpose and the shared goals. But do we really want somebody like that's exactly like us? Because one thing about it is God designed us there would never be another Dana, right? There would never be another Dana. Honestly, I think the world couldn't handle 2 of me. You know what I'm saying? So
one is enough.
You know,
be nobody would have tissue. The world would be tissueless. Supposed to be walking around hurting.
So, but I think you know, I believe God designed us for who we are. I think our children is a great example of who we are. You know, they represent us to a certain extent. But I think at the end of the day, they still are like they will still be just the Malia. They will still just be just the Jays. You know what I'm saying? They may have take on some of our characteristics, but they are who they are. But I think we really have to ask ourselves, like, do we really want somebody that's just like us? Like, you know, because just imagine this. If you have somebody just like us, keep in mind that same person is going to have some of those bad characteristics as well. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you're a prideful person, if you get somebody that's also prideful, the thing is, your relationship's not going to work because as soon as something hit the fan, then somebody going to be humble here and be like, you know what, I'm just going to take, you know what I'm saying? Somebody have to man up or woman up. To but if you have 2 prideful people, then it's gonna crash and burn. You know what I'm saying? So you have to keep that in mind as well. So it's a good thing, having opposites because again, if you have somebody that's similar like you or just like you, then you're gonna also take on some of those bad characteristics as well.
That's a good point. You make a good valid point there. I was thinking about like couples I've seen together for a long time. Like that's the goal. Like people want to make it to forever and what I too, but many people don't. And I see people in some of it comes from the point you're making of just that, can I adjust in those differences and whatnot too, right? And so, which I've been arguing too, but just like some of it comes from like you can have differences, but I think your core pieces have to be similar for the most part, or at least.
That's what I'm saying. You have to have shared goals.
That's
shared goals and shared purpose and shared goals, but I think respecting the difference of each other, so, because I also think about what if, like, if neither one of us was not affectionate, you know what I'm saying? Then, something is going to be lacking there, so there's, when you think about somebody, you know what I'm saying? You have to think about that, when you're looking for a partner.
Clean
so
bed sheets.
Having some opposites, you know what I'm saying? Having some of the opposites it's a privilege to have those opposites.
There you go. Yeah. So then, I'm just trying to look at that. So, like, what are a couple differences that we have to get personal, right? So, like, in terms, and this is something I want you guys to ask each other too. Like, what are some differences? Because, like you said, opposites attract. Will it keep us together? What are some differences that could I won't say pull us apart, but like something that like irks your nerves after that, or like, well, not even irk your nerves, but something that.
Well, yeah, okay, I can tell you.
Okay, whoa, okay,
I think one of the things is, especially like I think I've shared this before, long days. And when you want to come in and you want to talk, and I'm just like, can we just not say anything? Like, I just want to, that's just being honest.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't want to have like this long drawn out conversation. I am getting better.
You are. You're doing a good job.
So I'm going better. I am doing my best to grow. But But that's not natural for me. It's not one of those things where I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, let me go ahead and tell you about the 50 million things that happened today. Like, that doesn't, you know, if anything, like, I will come back and regroup. And that's the reason why now I even try to do a better job to call throughout the day. That way, at the end of the night, at least I've made some attempt to call and share some of the things that took place throughout the day. That way, at the end of the day, I can't just crash, you know, do my routine with the kiddos and then everybody get good, you know. So I'm just being honest, you know. So
that's a call for help. For people who can help her, ladies, please.
Don't call me. Don't worry about it.
I just mess with it.
But I think that's one thing. I think that's one thing that I think another thing too. I think early on in the marriage, Jeffrey was the saver. I was more so the spender. Again, now we come into a better compromise of how things work.
You said saver a lot, but 4 exclamation points. You're like, saver.
No, he's actually the saver, you know. So that was what, you know, that's another thing.
You need a me in a relationship.
Yeah, you need a, you know. So I think it was natural for me. But now, again, we come into more of a healthy compromise. Like now, you know, you willing to travel and stuff now. I'm willing to save more now. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, started, you know, thinking about like the long-term goals and future and stuff like that, building generational wealth. Like, I think I'm becoming more conscious of that, you know, so it's those things. So I think, you know, the opposites we come to more of a happy medium and a compromise.
We're gonna get to,
so yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You got those? Anything that's good?
Oh, I got 50 million more things, but I stop with that.
For the time. Okay. Yeah. Mine, I think you kind of hit on one of the ones there, like one of my things. We're going to talk about love language coming to. I know I said that last episode. We're going to talk about that.
Oh, I got one more.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Another one is, Jeff is definitely more affectionate than I am. I'm not naturally an affectionate person. I'm just not. And so, again, it's one of the things that I'm working on. I think as a result of the kids, I've become more affectionate because now I like, you know, I kiss all over my babies, like those are my babies, and so and the thing about it, and so as a result of that, I've become more affectionate with Jeff as well. So again, but it's not natural for me to be like, you know, touchy feely and all of that stuff.
So naturally you be touchy feely with those kids. But no, I'm not being judgy.
But I think one of those things is like,
that's something we can get into.
It's and I want to have this conversation because
I was talking to
I think I look at my relationship with my kids the way, and I don't get me wrong.
No.
I think
speak your truth at this time. This
look at my relationship. I really haven't right now after the podcast. People like, what you mean?
This is the free mode.
But I look at my relationship like seriously. Having kids made me understand how Christ really loves me, and I believe I mentioned this before. Like having Malia and Jace has truly helped me to understand how Christ loved me. And I think because it's just that no matter what they have done or no matter what they do, like there's two things that I have given life to. And so since we have given life to them.
I had a little role in it.
Since we have given life to them, it's kind of like no matter what they do, you may be disappointed, you may be upset or whatever, but it's still about reconciling the relationship and getting back into the fold. And so as a result of that, I have in turn tried to do the same with my marriage relationship.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I like I said, just giving life to them, like that came from us, like, you know what I'm saying, that those two beautiful children came from us. And I believe like it helped me to understand, it truly helped me to understand the dynamic relationship that I have with Christ now. Because like he gave me life, he died to save. And then the thing about it is what's so crazy is like I understand now how parents are like, I die for my kid. Like I understand what that means now, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I would take a bullet, I promise you, like, and the reason why I have gone to the gun range, I don't do weapons or none of that, but I have gone to the gun range, I really consider it my life, because I'm just like, you know, the world, because, like, I need to defend my back, you know what I'm saying? So, it's kind of like...
So, a bullet's coming this way, and you look at it before I look at it, before you had kids, you'd be like, I hope he got some good old positive blood at the hospital. Because it's about to go down. What you just heard is the same thing. You may have heard something like very vertical relationship, but God, like, very good in that thing. What I heard was, before I had these kids, you better be able to take a bullet. Like, you better become 50 Cent. 50 Cent took a shot. You can take a shot there. So that's what I heard there. But I'm not saying
don't judge me.
I'm not. It's not. This is a friend zone.
Yeah, but I think so. In terms of that, now it helped me. I believe as evolving into a mother, I've become a better wife. If that makes sense. Because it just helped me to become more affectionate. It has helped me to realize and recognize the relationship of Christ and how that relationship is so important.
And you can take a bullet.
And
pop, 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 pop. That's what I took. You see what I took from all of that. That's what I took away.
Yeah.
That's what I took away from it. Yeah. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for elaborating on that. That's good stuff. Differences for me that I feel like we have that tend to hit the radar for me is, I think you kind of hit on the ones, was the affectionate part about it. Some of it is the fact of, like, I just want, like, that's something, I guess you be wanting differences of that. I think you want to have, some things you want similar, and it may be one of the things you be like, okay, I'm affectionate, and so you want that person to be affectionate too. And I think you are growing in that sense of what it was from being stone prison wall to being That's not true. It's not true. I was trying to think of a joke, but the kid landed on. But yeah, definitely growing in terms of affection, like seeing that without the person saying it, like, hey, time to show affection this time. So I think like getting you or whoever is on the opposite side of that, if you're listening or watching now, to do something, to act on something that's not their natural thing. I'm thinking about, like, did that even register in the beginning, right? So what you just said, the things you said, it registers like this person is not an affectionate person. But I think like life and I think kids and all this stuff like changes it up. But I think like naturally that was not your thing, like you said before. So I think that groping, that's a great another example, right? So she gets on to me about, do you have to grab my leg or buns or whatever like that? I'm like, yes, that's what. Hold on, ladies, just please ask your fellas this, and this is something men we do, right? If do you even love your spouse if you ain't grabbing their booty? If you ain't doing, if you ain't going by when they walk by, do you even love them? I don't even know that. I don't know if I could operate in a world.
Let me say this. I'm cool with that. But yo,
just a little squeeze.
I could be anywhere, like, and he'll just, and I'm just
bedroom,
like,
courtroom, church,
anywhere, and I'm just like, Jeff, there is a time.
Taking pictures. I'm gripping that thing. Taking pictures.
It's a time and a place.
Grip tight.
That's all. And so
that's the time. That is the place. That's what. Let me just get this straight. Let me get this, and I wanted this to be known. Okay, if your person bought a ring for you, do you understand what that means? Do you know what he had to do to work to get that? I didn't buy that ring just for anybody. No. You think I bought that ring just for anybody? No, I bought that ring to have booty access, to be able to grab it.
Joe.
I gotta get this point out. I gotta get this point. And that's what your man has done. You granted, when you say yes, when he gets on, I'm down on bending knee, and you say yes, I will marry you, you have given him unlimited booty grab access to grab that thing. And that's what I'm saying. And so women with no, I know we have listeners that probably range to different butt sizes. Your man loves whatever size you are. You are perfect just the way you are. Let him grab that thing a little bit there. And so what our difference was, she'd be like, you just want my body. No, yes and no, I do.
This is a serious conversation.
Yes, this is a serious conversation. And so I think a lot of people had this conversation too. Listen, you want that to be a problem. You want that to be a problem. If it's not, that's why I tell her, I was like, you need to have some older friends or whatever that they never get their booty grabbed, and they can listen in horror to what you say and be like, girl, what are you praying for him to not grab your booty? And her prayer is, would somebody please grab this thing? She said after walking out the shower, walking around, switching and everything, and no booty grabs at all. So that's our sign of affection, saying we love the way you are. Many women are insecure about the way they look. You are perfect just the way you are. That booty is grabbable just the way it is. Let that husband come out the shower and bend over, pick up something. And when he tap, just know that's love. That's our show of love. And so I think that's the point. You owe me an apology for saying I'm grabbing too much. And so I think that point I had something else. One of the things was like for several years was just like frequency wise of the yams. the frequency of the yams. And it's look at her face every time she does it. I love it. And I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep digging into it because that's what I paid that ring for. So if you pay for a ring, you do what you do. So, hello, somebody. But that, I think the frequency-wise, when you first got married, right, and you wrote down on premarital counts, you didn't get premarital counts, that's great. Please do that if you're listening, you haven't got married yet, please do that. But like write down how many times you expect to get the yams, aka sex, aka
just
all the she's like, Jeff, don't say it. So see the fear that's the opposite. The fear in her eyes every time I get this one. Like, the people I know are gonna be listening to this. And I dig in deep. So send it to me. Don't send it to her. Send it complaints to me. I will take all complaints. But I get 0 complaints, by the way. 0, not a 1, because they know I'm crazy. But I digress. But what I'm saying is writing down those things, and I think that is where most couples that I talk to, most men that reach out to me.
So yes, basically what he's stating is just communicate the number of times that you expect to be intimate with each other, and try to
yams. Yeah. Getting those yams.
Yeah, so just do that. So the loving part is.
You sound good. Let me wrap my couch. And so, ladies, I want to give something to the ladies. I think about that point you're saying. Ladies, listen, when your man wrote that down, you ain't got to get all those, but at least show an effort to getting those things. And fellas, you may have to come down your number 2 to get to that, but get into a compromise to where you get to. Because I remember at one point, I was trying to make a calendar like, you said we're going to get this bit of time? Let me show you. What a calendar says, that's a lie. But that wasn't helpful. I learned it wasn't helpful. So your differences, though, real quick, I guess wrapping up that part about that is the fact that differences make it interesting.
Yeah.
Make it interesting.
Yeah. I think your relationship would be boring if you didn't have the differences.
Now you may get all, if we're the same on sex frequency, you may be like, that's something we I don't care about that. If you get the yes, but you wrote down, we both wrote the same number, and you actually followed through on that. Oh.
So as you can see,
Lord, I'm coming to. Oh.
So as you can see,
Thank you. Thank you.
So as you can see,
I lift my hands in total praise.
So as you can see, being opposite has some great positive. It keeps things interesting.
Yes, you may not get it what you want, but when you do, you appreciate them yams even more.
What? Okay.
And hold on. One last thing, but just to kind of wrap up that portion. I had something from. There was an article we're gonna talk about, but I've already read the article, but it was saying like there was a person who was like a health nut and somebody that like ate a lot of fast food and whatnot too, and how they made it work was just trying to compromise those things. So like the lady was a health nut, she was eating real healthy. She went out for burgers with him sometimes, or doing something that person liked, and then and vice versa for him. Yeah. He said, you know what, I'm gonna try those cauliflower or buffalo wings that you eat like that, that time, and I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying. Or we can cook together. We can do something like that. So it's like if you're opposite, finding ways to do something that person likes shows a lot. To say, you know what, this person's an introverted person, or this person's an extroverted person. You know what, I'm gonna go outside of my normal comfort zone, and I'm going to say the love I have for them is bigger than the differences we have.
So having shared spaces with each other. Message
right there. So the love I have for the person is bigger than the differences that I feel that we have together. And so 13 plus years in the game, which we got a lot of differences. As you listen, you've been following, you part of the Mr. Family, you've been listening to the episodes, you see those things. And so embrace the differences. So we're going to talk about the love portion right now, but that's to learn. So talk about the differences you have, but don't nag on them.
Yes.
Love.
So for the love portion, focus on what you love about your spouse and tell them. Tell your mate one thing per day that they do that's your opposite, that you admire or want to grow to love.
Okay.
So Jeffrey, I love that you're a saver. I do. I love that you're a saver. I think that is who you are. I believe it has helped us in the long run with a lot of things. And so, yeah, I appreciate that you are a saver.
Okay.
And I also appreciate you grabbing me sometimes.
On where? Where specifically do you?
I appreciate you showing your affection towards
How?
me.
I want to know how. Which way? Like, is your which way?
But just
on your breast. Listen, why the Lord created breast milk if you can't grab it? She's so uncomfortable, and I love it.
Okay, but go ahead.
Okay, and I appreciate the fact that you like to travel. And so I don't think we would have been to a lot of places if it wasn't for your desire. Now, you may not need to do it all the time.
That's not what. That's not.
I'm trying to be okay.
I don't do travel all the time.
Because it costs money to travel. they don't just let you go for free. I'm telling the truth, but I do appreciate that because it does get me out of some of the things that we need to do. So it's just trying to find the best. But yeah, I do appreciate you doing the travel, and so it helps me when I exhale.
When you get over the crisis.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, and then the second thing, I appreciate that you do save the yams. Sometimes it gives me more time with the Lord.
This is not. I feel like this is a shady. I was very sincere and genuine with you.
I'm shaking your hand.
And you are being shady towards me.
It gives me more solitude to get closer to God when you say, not tonight, honey. I need to go to sleep. Those times make me embrace because it's just me and God there. When I see you sleep comfortably and my eyes are looking and my fist is bald and my eyes are crazy, I'm like, you told me tonight was the night. And so I get that. No, I'm just joking. This is a, I gotta do that part. So okay, but I do appreciate that you like to travel. I'm trying to keep it. It's not a shame. It is not a shame. And wow. So y'all listen, please tell us it's not shame. And let me see. Another opposite that I do appreciate. I'm trying not to, because it just naturally comes. This is what I was going to say. I'm not saying this, but this is what I was going to say. I appreciate that you do not change the toilet paper roll because it helps me get close to my 10,000 steps. And it helps me stay. You see
what I have to deal with? Now, I
appreciate you.
I was genuinely giving you your props. You see the difference.
I said that. I'm now. See, it's the way you look at things. I could look at like, who left this toilet paper roll?
No, I'm talking about. I said different. I appreciate you.
Used to be the saver.
Being a saver.
And then grabbing you.
And being
your breast and your butt.
Me. And being affectionate with me.
Your breast
and your two things.
Your breast butt and thigh. Like your two pieces. Why don't you say that? Why don't you say that? The people want to know the real thing. Now, listen, I'm the same person.
But your thing is, you appreciate me traveling.
It helps me get in here. Why?
It helps me. You see that? Yeah.
But listen, DHS don't come from grown people. But you get the point what I'm saying. So I appreciate you traveling because it helps me travel more.
But you said,
that's what I said.
You said you don't have to do it as often.
Rewind that. Somebody hit us up now and tell us. I appreciate you. That's why I said it gets me out of my normal thing about like building a legacy for my family. It helps me to travel more. No, I'm just saying, I really do appreciate that because a lot of things I wouldn't do because it gets in my itch.
Yeah.
So my C drive does not allow me to okay those things. And so one other thing, I brought this right here. I brought these. Sorry, I stepped up the mic. I brought these baskets of clothes. And these baskets were full of clothes. For an extended period of time. There were more baskets, but I only brought two, as you can see if you're listening right now. I'm holding up clothes baskets, a red and a white one, and they were full of our clothes for months.
And the kids' clothes.
And the kids' clothes for months and months and months. And so this is one difference of ours. It's one difference of ours.
He's a hoarder.
No, that's not the difference.
No, let me tell you. So my thing is, hold on, listen.
That's not the
so
difference.
yes, it is. So the difference is, like, I don't mind throwing things away. When I get the time to find... Hold on, listen.
You're right. I'm sorry. I was ready to say my point. You're right. I'm practicing active listening.
So when I finally get the time, like, I don't mind throwing stuff away or giving things away or whatever I need to do. Kids' clothes, my clothes, whatnot. But on the other hand, Jeff loves to maintain some of his items as well. And so, yes, he is correct. But I did saw this meme. I think it was D'Angelo. Somebody shout out to D'Angelo. But somebody posted in 2020. In 2020, we're going to get the clothes out the dryer and fold them in. And so I've been really trying to adhere to that. So what I did was I went ahead. I had like 4 suitcases from traveling. Like
listen to what listen to the words that in it.
So,
Don't be quiet.
so I put up all my clothes up from, and I got rid of some stuff. I got all the baskets and stuff up and all of that. So I'm really trying this year. I just want to live like more of a simple life. And a simple and clean life, and decluttering and all of that stuff, because I just feel like when you declutter your home, you declutter your mind, your spirit, and all of that. So,
cool. So this is summarize what she said. She said I was a hoarder, but she will not put us up.
I won't.
She won't put it. So this is another difference we have. When you travel somewhere, you come back. I immediately, the first thing I do is take all my things out, take the dirty clothes out, put my stuff up. I have an empty suitcase that I put back up. She will literally sit down and watch 8 movies straight.
That's so
like, how do you have 8 suitcases? You hear from her own words, Your Honor? She just said.
Jeffrey, that is not true. First of all, I don't.
Do you empty your suitcase out when you come home?
Today I did.
Okay, now the question for the people to know is, do you empty your
Let's talk about what's in the past.
That's a yes. So that's where we're different on things, but we try to embrace the fact of what she's wanting to do.
And when we came back from Hawaii, I went ahead and got rid of. The only suitcase that was left was mine, because I made sure I went ahead and got all the kids' stuff, got everything washed up and everything. And then Mama came down last week, and we was able to get through all the stuff that had infiltrated the guest room. And I sent away like 4 or 5 bags worth of clothes and stuff like that.
That's good.
So
just what you're saying is, this year you want me to.
But I want us both to do it. I want us both to declutter and all of that stuff. Because I feel like Jeffrey still has things from when he was like a high school. He still has things from when he was a high school.
You see how she's trying to wrap it up with that. But that's because it still fits me. I can still wear some of those things because I keep it up.
Let it go.
Well, let it go. This ain't frozen.
Let it go.
Hello.
Let it go.
But what she's saying is, we all want to declutter some things, and so it just takes.
So there's also, in addition to telling your mate one thing that you appreciate them, declutter. Take the rest of this month. It's a part of It's a part of my notes. Okay. For January, let's declutter. Let's get rid of some things. Let's clean our closets. Let's clean our attic. Let's just clean. Let's just get rid of a whole bunch of stuff.
No, this is my thing. I like to do it on the spot. She'll get these moods. She'll get up. Everything needs to be clean. I'm like, well, we do it the same. It's like dishes. I want this up right there. She had to get us right there. But that's neither here. We can go over there.
Yeah. So anyway, let's end with our mantra. So
the Mr. Mantra.
Yes, the Mr. Mantra.
Where you take your spouse. You may, like you said, you may have argued through this episode because they're very different than you, and then they don't listen, or they do listen, or they whatever the opposite thing you say, and they blank. She doesn't. And so, but I still love her because that's what I signed up for, and I paid for that ring. And they won't take it back. So we gotta keep going. So look them in the eyes, and you can do this on every argument or disagreement or thing you have. Look them in the eyes and tell them, I like you, I love you, and I want you. Get a little sugar. Grab a little thigh.
All right, bye guys.
Hold on. Well, we gotta tell you just the point of, if you're not following us, go and follow. If you like, subscribe on YouTube, hit the bell. We're on Instagram, mr.mrs.mistr, and the Mr. and Mrs. Mr.
I'm taking a sabbatical right now, but he's keeping me abreast.
Yeah, so hit me up. I'll let her know what's going on too. So, we love you. God loves you, and ain't nothing you can do about it, right? I and you make us. You can be with us, all right? So holler at us. Let us know how you thought about the episode. Anything you want to hear coming up. Any questions you have, we're going to take questions on coming up real soon. So sing us out. 1, 2, 3. Come on. Yeah.
Laugh, learn, love.
Talk about differences.
Laugh, learn, love.
We is different. On the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast Show.
Laugh, learn, love.
We ain't the same.
Laugh, learn, love.
Martin and Gina.
Laugh, learn, love.
It's the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast Show, yeah.
And that's our show. Bye, guys.
Tell another human about the number one radio relationship marriage podcast in the world. Oh.